What are the advantages and disadvantages of being in a relationship with a highly sensitive person? The main big disadvantages of being in a romantic relationship with a highly sensitive person are, first of all, a highly sensitive person runs away from conflicts many times. Highly sensitive people have a hard time with conflicts because this is something that highly sensitive people have a very hard time dealing with. That is something that influences our relationship, of course, in many ways, because part of being in a close relationship is being able to go into conflicts when they are necessary, and dealing with them and solving them and just putting them out there so that we know that they are going on. And the fact that a highly sensitive person is very scared of going into conflict is actually a very big advantage. That was number one. Number two, highly sensitive people many times, because of what they heard as children, have a very hard time dealing with abandonment issues. And that means that whenever, if you're just a bit unhappy or something is going on with you and you don't know if during a specific day you're not that into them or whatever, which is something that happens in every relationship, abandonment issues will rise very fast uh, in the highly sensitive person mind, and that will be something that will make your relationship more difficult for sure. Number one, number two, number three, low self-esteem. And I know that it's a sad thing to say, but again, because growing up as a highly sensitive child, especially for those of us who are adult now and are in romantic relationships, I hope that this is something that is changing gradually. But when we were kids, many times the high sensitivity was not appreciated, as an understatement, and bringing low self-esteem to a romantic relationship is a part of a disadvantage that a highly sensitive person brings to the relationship. You're dealing with, as I said, anxiety issues, running away from conflicts, and low self-esteem many times. And those are things that need to be worked out. I will address that at the end of this video. It's not that I'm not telling you not to get involved with highly sensitive people. On the contrary, I'm telling you to do that, but I'm also telling you and us highly sensitive people that these are issues that have to be addressed and have to be noticed, and they have to be out there in the open so that the relationship will succeed. But yes, the fact that highly sensitive people tend many times to have lower self-esteem is something that they will bring into the relationship and would make an impact on your relationship. Number four, having emotional floodings, having emotional difficulties, having hard times with emotional regulations many times. It, Emotional regulation is something that highly sensitive people have a hard time with. Is again something that we have to deal with. We have to take with us to therapy, but it's not something that is easy for the other person to deal with. So that was number four. Number five, which is I think the easiest one to recognize and to start dealing with in your relationship, is the fact that highly sensitive people need breaks, need to take a step back, need to have downtime for themselves. And I'm saying this is the easiest one, and I really would encourage you, if you're watching this too, and you and your partner, one of you is highly sensitive, to start and bring that into your conversations and into the way you live, because it just means taking that into consideration and understanding that if you're taking a road trip, or if you're doing something together, remembering that the highly sensitive one of between you two needs breaks and downtime more often than the other one. And that means, just like Elaine Aron says in many of her books, when she and her husband, when they go to abroad or to a trip, they take into consideration the fact that she has to have breaks more often than him, and that means that he either goes out by himself at night, or that they plan the trip that way so that they both get enough uh, breaks or downtime, and they can do everything together. And that means that he has to slow down a bit, but that is something that you just, once you take it into consideration, once you understand that that is part of your life, then that is one of the easiest one to deal with, because it could be a schedule thing. It could be something that you just talk to each other about, and you consider the fact that this is something that we know is going on, and we treat our relationship differently from that aspect. So those were the five bad news, as I maybe I could put it. But as I said before, and I will address it in the end, there are many things to do, and I want to go to the other side and mention the five advantages that you get in a relationship with a highly sensitive person in order to encourage you to understand that the love that you're going to have with a partner that is highly sensitive is one of the best one you're going to ever have, I think. And I hope that you're going to stick to it, because the advantages are so important, are so deep, are so rewarding, that this is many times I hear it in my clinic when partners come together. The one that is not highly sensitive uh, tells me that this is the best relationship he ever had, even though there are certain issues that you have to address, which is something you have to do in any relationship anyway. So at least here you're getting something that is really great. And the first advantage I want to talk about is empathy. Yes, highly sensitive people are very good at being empathic. And if you have a partner that is highly sensitive, you get a lot of empathy for everything that you go through, for everything that happens to you. He comes into your world. He understands what's going on with you. He can be there for you and really empathically feel what you're feeling. And that is, of course, a great thing to have in a relationship. So that was number one. The second thing that you get is the highly sensitive person intuition. Part of being highly sensitive, the fact that you understand and you listen to everything that's going on, is that your intuition develops better, and that is it is better in many times. And so, as part of the package, you also get this person next to you that has a great intuition and can help you make decisions and can help you think through things with this intuition accompanying you through the process. And that is, of course, a great and a wonderful thing. So, empathy and intuition, very important things to have next to you. And that is those two things that you get when you have a highly sensitive partner. The third one is depth of the relationship, a deeper way of looking at life and at looking at your relationships. Many times, highly sensitive people tell me that they're in a relationship that is coming from their inner core. When the relationship is good, of course, but they would tell that to you also, knowing that because of the fact that they feel so deeply about your relationship and about the place it has in their life and about the meaning it has, the spiritual meaning that it has in their life, that they're going to be there and they're going to stick through hard times, and they're going to be with you, and what you're going to get from this uh, deeper relationship is something that you cannot get anywhere else. So that was number three. Number four is is something that I'm not sure is that positive, but I had to write it down because I think the partner many times gets a lot from it. Is the fact that automatically and many times very easily, the highly sensitive partner will be able to put your needs before his. Whether or not that's a great thing, that's a question, and I'm going to talk about it in a minute. But the fact that you have next to you a person that can do that, that is able to do that, to put your needs before his, which is like the exact opposite picture of the narcissist, for example, which will always put his needs before yours. That is something which is also something that you should appreciate or know that is there, and know that it's a great advantage for you, as long as you don't take advantage of this specific behavior. Number five, the last one, that last advantage of this of the list of advantages of being in a relationship with a highly sensitive person, is the way highly sensitive people are as parents. Because if you plan to have children with this person, or you already have, I think that you can imagine that, or you already know by fact that highly sensitive people are very very good parents. That's an understatement. I think they give a lot. They are there for that child. They are all the things that the being empathic, intuitive, caring, seeing their child as something that they're that that they're here for, that their parenting is something that is a reason for their existence, and that is something that you as a partner can definitely advantage. Having a parent next to you that is the greatest parent in the world, even though he brings to the table other things, as I said, but that is something that you can really enjoy, just watching from the side and seeing what your children get from that parent, that highly sensitive parent, which is very, very good. To sum up this video, I want to say what I was saying through the points that I was going through, but still it's important for me to say at the end also the fact that every relationship has disadvantages and advantages, of course. These are the main ones, I think, that are brought to the table by a highly sensitive person. What is important to know is the fact that the disadvantages are things that highly sensitive people deal with in any relationship. Of course, in a close and intimate relationship, these are things that come in, and that you can see more easily. But there are many things that can be done about it, like what I said about taking downtime together, like going to therapy, going to a DBT therapist, which I highly recommend for highly sensitive people. Dialectical behavior therapy, the best one for highly sensitive people, as far as I'm concerned. But anything else, just as well. Talking about things, going through the process of working on your self-esteem together as partners, and individually as a highly sensitive people. All of that stuff is definitely workable, definitely something that once you know it's there, you can work on, and you can do things together, and you can empower the highly sensitive person in your life to go through these things. And that is, of course, wonderful and great for him and for the both of you. And the bottom line, if I may say, is the fact that the difficult things are workable and the great things are wonderful, is the reason to get involved and to have a close, intimate relationship with a highly sensitive person, because I think it's going to be. I'm saying that from experience and from hearing from a personal experience, and from hearing from clients of mine and from other people in my life. It's going to be one of the greatest things, one of the greatest loves you'll ever have, and that is, of course, a wonderful thing to have in your life. Thank you so much for listening through this whole thing. I hope this helps you. I would love to hear from you, from your experience, from what you're going through in a romantic relationship with a partner, or you being yourself that highly sensitive people, and what does your intimate relationship feels like in relative to the high sensitivity. And I hope, really, I really hope this meets you in a good place, and this really helps you look at things from another perspective. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next week in my weekly video. Bye bye.